man? Welcome to another episode of Times Square Kung Fu. I am your host, Frankie Balboa, aka the Shogun Supreme.
And I'm Peter Glagowski, Associate Editor over at Flixus.com. Today we're going to be talking about Well Go USA's new release of Baby Assassins 2 Babies. I'm not sure how to actually say the name.
Two babies!
Two babies, or regardless,
yeah.
Baby Assassins 2.
Yes. And this comes out April 2nd on physical and digital. And you know why this is a must-own? You're going to find out because both films were Peter's first watch. This is going to be a fun and exciting episode. I'm still in tears, man.
勝負あったようですね。
いや全然あかんやんけ。
なんだよこいつ。
将棋向いてないですよ。むちゃくちゃ打てる雰囲気できたのにな。
So, Baby Assassins is directed by Yugo Sakamoto. And, you know, he's been making some noise over the past few years. And the babies, which I need to mention to you guys, is that Wogo USA provided this copy. I mean, they've been amazing friends of the channel, my Twitter account, to me and Peter. So, yo, thank you once again. April 2nd, folks. So, Yugo Sakamoto, he's been making some noise, like I mentioned. And the babies made the first appearance in one of his films called The Janitor. And one thing I was telling Peter, because this was his first time watch on Baby Assassins 1 and 2, is that online, especially in the West, people love the babies. You know?
Yeah.
So, Peter, tell people your experience of watching Baby Assassins 1 and 2.
I enjoyed the movies for the most part, but I do think maybe you should check your expectations because it's not necessarily an action movie. Both of the films play out in an episodic structure that's not dissimilar to a slice of life anime or, dare I say it, the Lucky Stars films. But, you know, there's usually an action scene at the beginning that's pretty well choreographed and everything, and then it's straight comedy for a while. And this isn't lame-o comedy like Inspector Wears Skirts. But, yeah.
Oh!
Throwing the shade at that. The movie lives and dies by the performances of both Akari Takashi and Saori Izawa. They're the two main characters, and without the chemistry that they had, I don't think this movie would even work at all. It's, again, I'm not saying this because like the movie's so juvenile or whatever. Like the comedy's pretty funny, it's very situational and idiosyncratic, but because of the commitment of them and how they have an interplay with each other in the different scenes, that ingratiates the film to you. So you start getting sucked into this world and you really want to see where things are going.
Right, and also to know the action choreography is done by the man himself, Kensuke Tsunomoto. And, you know, Bad City, Hydra, I mean, we will go on and off about Homeboy, man. And he, you know, he did Yugo Daisuke. He's an up-and-coming, I can't even say up-and-coming no more. He's an OG.
Yeah.
You know, been in the game for a long time. And one thing I love about the Baby Assassins franchise is, like Peter mentioned, it has that anime feel. You see them hanging out in the room, goofing around, and the personality oozes. One thing about this film is that, and I mentioned to you while we were watching them, it's similar to The Child. Like, the plot is whatever, but the acting is what carries the whole freaking film and their character hijinks.
Yeah, and in a way it's cartoonish, but that's the purpose. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a parody per se. It doesn't go that far into zaniness, but the proceedings of the movie, they're meant to be a little bit Looney Tunes, and that it's juxtaposing the violent nature of their work against these comedic scenarios where, since they're high school girls in the first movie and then fresh out of high school in the second one, they don't really know how life works. In a way, I could almost compare that to Frasier, where he's a highly skilled therapist, but then he doesn't know how to ask a woman out on a date. You know, like it's that kind of differing tones where worlds collide and then you see the ensuing chaos.
Right. And with that said, Peter, I think it's time to tell people a little synopsis about this film, man. You know what I mean? Because now that you know how Peter feels, when Peter says a 3-star film, for folks like us, that means it's a 4.5. So we're gonna get into this Baby Assassins 2 plot for y'all folks and break this film down. Let's go.
The plot of Baby Assassins 2 is, after being suspended from their agency due to a rules violation, 2 highly skilled teenage assassins are forced to get real jobs to make ends meet. But while the elite duo is forbidden from executing targets or enemies under any circumstances, 2 aspiring rival hitmen decide to eliminate the competition while they're vulnerable, leading to a lightning-fast showdown between trained killers. And yeah, that's the interesting aspect that builds upon the first film in Baby Assassins 2, is that there are now 2 male assassins that are inadvertently trying to hunt the babies.
Yeah, because they're trying to get into their agency.
Yeah.
Because they have like their supervisor, basically.
Something like that. Their handler.
Their handler, yeah, that gets the jobs for them. Tells them like, hey, you got to handle your finances, which that whole interaction is hysterical.
Yeah.
And it tells them, yo, you got to handle your bills and everything. But he's still very new to the world, especially how they go about handling bills. And oh man, there's a part of this film where they got to go pay their bills, and things goes left. And the thing that I really enjoy in this one a lot, because I told you I like Baby Assassins 2 a lot, is that the budget was up there, and you see some great graphic inserts. Because I was losing my mind. And I want to say with the mascot fight.
Yeah, that's easily the highlight of the film, and it comes roughly in the middle. But actually, I don't want to spoil too much. It's just that it plays out even more in an anime tone than what the film already is. So you can tell that Yugo Sakamoto's direction is aiming more for that comedy now. Not that the first one was lacking in that department. And
there's something we want to mention, because we both have our favorites, and we kept emphasizing how the acting is what carried this film. Talk about your lady, Saori.
So Saori Izawa, most people, they wouldn't recognize her from her face, but she did the stunt work for, oh gosh, what's her face? Rina Sawayama in John Wick 4. And she's also a part of Kensuke Sonomura's team, so she, of the 2, is the more skilled martial artist. And her persona is more, I don't want to say tsundere, but she's subdued, kind of. Well, in the first movie, she calls herself a sociopath, but that's incorrect. So she has hard time relating to people, so she tends to keep to herself.
Yeah, she's the most skilled one, laid back. You just think of her as a typical, what you see like typical anime tropes, like the quiet one, like, oh, they're always bored and tired, and they're the nicest one out of all of them, and you loved her demeanor, her flow in this film.
Yeah, and there's some wild fashion sense in this movie, both of them.
Oh, there's some awesome fashion sense.
At one point, the rival assassins, the guy has a shirt of a cat in a bulletproof vest that says meow.
Yeah.
And then he's eating cat food. I don't... Those are the kind of quirky things that... You said this while we were watching it too. You feel they're missing in modern films, where it's just a characteristic for the sake of being a characteristic. Like, it doesn't add to the plot or anything, but it gives some humanization to the characters in the film.
Right, and this is where the bad comes in, because Akari, okay, put it like this. If you guys play Street Fighter 4, she's Yuri. She's insane. Has a very crazy sense of humor.
She flips on a dime sometimes, even.
She just flips, but sometimes she's trying to be serious, and you get to see her trying to hold back her smirk. Like, she's trying not to laugh. And she always looks like she has that look. Okay, put it like this. She has the crazy eyes. And I'm a sucker for women with crazy eyes. That's all I gotta say. Y'all all been to clubs and everything. You see the girl with the crazy eyes that all your friends tell you to avoid, but you're gonna have a good time. You might lose a limb. That's her. That's her in this movie.
Yeah.
And she loves her machine guns.
Yeah, that's also true. Although surprisingly, there's not as much gunplay in the second one as in the first. But again, that's not the point of these movies. And going in with that mindset, I think you'll enjoy it better. I was sort of expecting a heck of a lot more action, and the action that's here is phenomenal, don't get me wrong.
And
but,
they both have some intense climax that is freaking like,
yeah.
whoa.
And I think I preferred the first movie more in that in the second one it kind of hits the same beats. Even though the mascot fight is phenomenal, the final fight is kind of a carbon copy of the first movie.
Very similar, like even the location seems very similar.
Yeah, and the moves they use too, but this is all, it's not like a sophomore slump. I don't think the movie is bad, and obviously it has higher production values. It's just that because of the episodic nature of these films, it just kind of iterates, and I'm pretty sure even Baby Assassins 3, which was announced pretty recently, will be further hijinks instead of some deep plot that goes, you know. So all that said, just set your expectations for comedy. Don't go in looking for a hardcore action movie.
Peter's a hater, man. This thing is
apparently.
awesome.
I did like the movie.
It is fun. This thing is fun. Nah, but he's right though. I'm messing with you because I remember when I was promoting the first one and people finally got to see it. Some of them were thrown off guard with the comedy nature of it and how down tempo it is at times. I enjoy it. I felt like I was watching a good anime. It gave me the Foolie Coolie vibes. It's very colorful, and if you're a gamer, you're gonna recognize a lot of stuff the way they live because the apartment looks very awesome, very cluttered and awesome. So you're gonna see a hori stick, you're gonna see a switch, and it's a fun thing. I really like. Yeah, just like what Peter said, just lower your expectations, thinking it's gonna be balls to the wall action. It's a fun comedy, not corny like Inspector Wears Skirts. It's actually enjoyable, colorful.
It's actually good. First off,
yeah. And it's a fun thing. It comes out April 2nd from Welgo USA on physical and digital. And as always, until the next one, guys. Let them know, Peter.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Wow, I couldn't say that with any more enthusiasm, could I?
God damn it, the baby took it out of you, man. Peace.
Now it is.
Okay, where's my coffee? Here we go. All right, welcome to the episode of Times Square Kung Fu. I forgot my name.
Nice. Amazing.
Could be an outtake.
Yeah, I'm not cutting. I'm just gonna leave that and.
Oh, I'm in tears. Oh. Anyway, keep going. Fuck it. Let's go. We're recording?
Yes, all of that was recorded. I never stopped.
All right. Oh man, we're gonna keep this going. Welcome to the episode of Times Square Kung Fu. I'm your host, Frankie Balboa, aka the Shogun Supreme.
And I'm Peter Gligowski. Yeah. Got some long outtakes.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Don't mind the tears, folks, man. We just finished having some good laughs.